The 2022 free agency class in Major League Baseball might be one of the best that we've ever seen. We know about how loaded it is at shortstop, but what about some of the other positions? Who's coming in at catcher? Who are some of the pitchers? Who's some of the outfielders? There is a whole lot of talent hitting the free agent market at the end of this season, and while the 2022 MLB season might still be up in the air because of the new CBA and the impending lockout, that scares the crap out of me. Let's go ahead and talk about the guys who are going to hit the market and some of the guys that we need to highlight. Maybe some under the radar guys even. Gonna go position by position, name some of my favorite players as well as some of the most hyped guys, and give you my thoughts and opinions on this. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on it. It really does help support the channel, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you here on the GiraffeNeckMarc YouTube channel. Get in the comment section down below, give me your top 5 free agents for the 2022 offseason, and make sure you drop me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, all my social media. Link is in the description. So let's get started off with the catcher position, and right now leading that is going to be Buster Posey. He is clearly the best catcher that could hit the free agent market, and big word here is could, because it's probably unlikely. As a club option with the Giants, I think it's around $22 million, and based on the way that Buster Posey has looked in the 2021 season, he's rejuvenated, he's having a renaissance to his career. There's no reason that the Giants are going to let this guy go. He's just simply too good. At $22 million a year, that's cheap for Buster Posey if he's playing like he has this season. Some of the other top catchers who kind of hit the market, it feels like every year: Yan Gomes, Martin Maldonado, Stephen Vogt, and then we have some guys on club options like Christian Vasquez at $7 million with the Red Sox, $7.5 million for Tucker Barnhart, $4 million for Mike Zunino with the Rays, and $7 million for Roberto Perez with the Indians. All of those guys would definitely have some interest around the league. All very good defensively, all have shown some promise at points in their career with the bat. The catching market is not very robust next year. It's going to be super interesting to see what teams do that need a catch, because the depth is just not there. All right, moving on over to first base, and there is one big, looming, impending free agent at the first base position that could change everything, and that's Freddie Freeman. I mean, you were talking about an MVP caliber player every single season, coming off an MVP season in 2020, a fantastic year in 2021, just one of the best players in Major League Baseball, and the Braves should re-sign him, but there's a chance they might not. I can't see Freddie Freeman playing anywhere outside of Atlanta, but the fact that he didn't get a contract extension before the season, it blows my mind. I don't care that he's 32 years old. At the first baseman position, the way Freddie Freeman plays, he's not falling off anytime soon. He's unbelievable, and he is clearly the best available free agent first baseman right now. Another really good name is Brandon Belt. He's going to be leaving the Bay Area. Do they bring him back? He's having a really strong season. It's really going to depend on how much money he's commanding and how much money he wants, whether he wants a long-term deal, whether he wants a one-year deal. To me, I mean, I can see the Giants bringing him back, but also the way that they play with their platoons, they almost don't need to, but he's another first baseman hitting the free agent market that's going to be kind of sought after. You got Yuli Gurriel of the Astros, who's a weird case because you think of him as maybe not being that old. No, he's 37, going to be going into his 38-year-old season next year. He has a club option for only $8 million. It's kind of cheap. I can see the Astros retaining him. And then you got some interesting players like Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo, 32 years old, has been one of the better first basemen in baseball. A little bit of a down year per se. Maybe he's starting to get older. Maybe he goes back to Chicago. Who knows? But Rizzo hits the market. And then you've got a guy like CJ Cron. CJ Cron has quietly been a very good offensive first baseman for the last 5 years, kind of for his entire career. He's raking in Colorado, having a great season. This is a dude who, if you're a team, maybe like the Giants, a platoon, something along those lines, who doesn't prioritize first base defense, CJ Cron could be your guy because he can mash. At second base, there's some more interesting players. I think there's a lot more utility use at second base rather than like franchise cornerstone second baseman. The top guy available on the market right now is probably Chris Taylor, 31 years old, going to be hitting the free agent market. It'll be interesting to see what kind of contract he gets, because I could see a team throwing like a decent chunk of money at him, like close to $15 million a year, but maybe he takes a price cut to stay with the Dodgers or to stay with a winning organization. He has the value in that he plays a variety of different positions, hits the ball well, is an all-around good baseball player, probably the top guy available at the second base position. You also get a guy like Brad Miller, who's playing very well in Philadelphia, although he's more of a first baseman nowadays, but a great left-handed power bat. Donovan Solano, who's been with the Giants the last few years and has really turned his career around. Great high average, put the ball in play kind of guy. And then even a dude like Jed Lowry, he's had a decent year. He's really old, and I wouldn't want him back on the Mets, but he would probably have some value for some teams. Now, guys on options, we got Cesar Hernandez on a club option, super cheap, $6 million. I could see the White Sox retaining that, especially with how he's mashed against lefties this year. And then even Wilmer Flores, another guy with a club option, $3.5 million. That feels like a no-brainer for the Giants. He's a perfect platoon play. At third base, this is where it gets real interesting here. We got our first big player option, and that's going to be Nolan Arenado, who has a player option of $35 million with the Cardinals. I don't know why he wouldn't take this. I don't know why he'd be looking for more. Seems like it's a good fit there in St. Louis. That's a great place for a player to build his career. He's having a good season, and it's $35 million. I don't see Nolan Arenado not picking up this option. In terms of a guy who doesn't have an option, Chris Bryant with the Giants. Yep, he's going to be a top free agent. He's had a great season, really well well-timed in the fact that he's going into the free agent market after some people had some doubts of him from his 2020 season. But Chris Bryant's a legit player. He's showing he can be one of the top third basemen in the league again. He can also play a little bit of the outfield. That's got big value on the market now with guys being able to play multiple positions. Chris Bryant's the clear and obvious #1 guy because let's be honest, Nolan Arenado's not declining. No way. You got Eduardo Escobar who's going to hit the free agent market as well. This is going to be a cheaper option who can give you some real value at the third base position with the bat. And then we got some club option guys. Two that I can't imagine get retained, Matt Carpenter and Kyle Seager. Carpenter's club option's $18.5 million. No way, that guy stinks. And Kyle Seager has a $20 million club option. I don't think he's going to get $20 million. I don't think the Mariners are going to want to pay him that much, especially from what we heard they said in the offseason. Now, the one that is super interesting is Jose Ramirez. He's going to get retained for $12 million. He's not going to be hitting the free agent market, but he's probably going to get traded. So someone to keep an eye out on as well. Now for the position everyone's been waiting for, shortstop. Lindor's off the market. He's with the Mets, but we've got some crazy names here. Marcus Semien is technically listed, I think, as a shortstop on the free agent market, but he can play second base as well. He's going to be one of the top sought after guys to probably play second base, but I'm including him in shortstop here because it's more fun to say that we have all these great shortstops, Semien being one of them. Unbelievable year in Toronto. He's been sick. We've also got Trevor Story in Colorado, who, I mean, just one of the best shortstops in the game. While his numbers haven't been great this year, dealing with a little bit of injuries, he's got no protection in that lineup. I'm not worried about Trevor Story. He's sick. Corey Seager, Trey Turner being traded to Los Angeles, put the writing on the wall. He's probably on his way out. He's going to be highly sought after, one of the better shortstops in the league. Carlos Correa, I mean, oh my God, Carlos Correa is going to be a free agent. When this guy's healthy, he has the ability to be a top 5 shortstop in the league. We're seeing him rake this year in Houston. One of my favorite players in the league. Yes, he's a villain, but Carlos Correa is incredibly talented, and when he's healthy, we know his value on the field. He's going to get paid. I would think the Astros bring him back, though. It's just they're going to have to sign him for a lot. And then Javi Baez has played himself into a big contract coming this offseason. We've seen the superstar potential with him, but I think based on how he's played with the Mets after the trade deadline, he's going to be getting a few extra dollars added onto that contract that maybe he wasn't going to before. He's been playing good defense. He can play second base. I'd love the Mets to bring him back at this point to be our second baseman of the future. Will it happen? I don't know. For the right price, I'm totally in, but I have a feeling Javi Baez, there's going to be a pretty good market for him this offseason. And yeah, I could talk about Andrelton Simmons and Miguel Rojas, but you just named like 5 absolute studs. Don't really care about the rest of the shortstop market. In terms of the outfield, there's a lot of names, some good, some bad. It's all over the place. Charlie Blackmon being one of them. He has a player option for $21 million. Got a good feeling Charlie Blackmon's going to pick that up. He's just not going to get $20 million on the market. It's not going to happen at age 35. Can't really play the outfield that much anymore, and his skills are declining for sure. Andrew McCutchen, club option for $15 in Philly. McCutchen's been getting on base and he crushes left-handed pitching. I'm not sure they're going to pick up that $15 million club option, but he definitely can be a platoon outfielder nowadays. Dexter Fowler, we're not going to talk about him. He's not very good. Nick Castellanos, that's a big one. Player option $16 million. I don't expect him to pick up this option. I think it's well expected around the league. He's going to hit the market. He's going to get paid. He's one of the best right-handed bats in the league. JD Martinez, that's who I always compare him to. Just feel like very similar players. He might even be better at this point now. Who knows? But Castellanos going into his 30-year-old season, his athletic prime per se, I expect him to get paid big, and I expect a lot of teams to be interested in him because he does rake, and especially if the DH comes to the National League, which it should. Michael Conforto, that's a really interesting one. Of course, my New York Mets. I didn't think that there would be a world where the Mets don't re-sign Michael Conforto, but a pretty horrible 2021 season thus far. I don't know how much you can give him. He's going to get the QO, and he might accept it, but I wouldn't be shocked if he tests the market, and if he gets paid decently. He is having a strong last few months here, which is going to save his season, of course, right when the Mets start to fall apart. I don't know what to do with Conforto. I know the kind of value and production he's given us in the past, but this year scared me. He's been awful, and this is when the pressure was on, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Mets bring him back. I also wouldn't be surprised if he signs with another team for big money. He's been really good before. AJ Pollock's got a $13 million player option with the Dodgers. This one's interesting, kind of a platoon player, but he's also been really good with the Dodgers. I don't know if he's going to get much more than $13 million going into his 34 age season. He's really good though. I could see him testing the market, maybe a 1-year, $15 million deal, but the Dodgers are also really good. He has value there. He has a spot there. I could see him not leaving. Jackie Bradley Jr. is hitting the market. Just not a great year. Avisail Garcia, $12 million club option. If the Brewers don't pick him up, he's going to be highly sought after, but the Brewers are going to pick it up because he's having a really good year, and that's dirt cheap for Avisail, so I don't expect him to hit the market. Kyle Schwarber, the power's been crazy this year, especially with DH probably coming to the National League. This is a guy you want to keep an eye out for because he's just one of the better power bats in baseball. Jock Peterson, Adam Duvall, I mean, any of the Braves outfielders that you could think of, Jorge Soler, all these guys are going to hit the free agent market, and all of them are going to have value. They do something well. They hit for power. They get on base. They're good players. And then some other names just to mention, like Tommy Pham's a good one. Corey Dickerson. Mark Canha has a lot of value. That's a guy you should definitely take a look at. Quietly been really great in Oakland. Starling Marte has been really good in Oakland. That's a guy who I think might actually get a nice little like 3-4 year contract coming off this offseason because he's shown he can still play center field at a high level, and he's hitting and he's stealing bases more. He's been sweet. And then a really interesting one I want you to keep an eye out for, Adam Jones. Contract ends in Japan. Technically could be a free agent. Be interesting to see if he comes back to America or if he stays in Japan because he does have a club option. And then for the last offensive position here, we got DHs. There's quite a few hitting the market. You got Nelson Cruz, got Nick Castellanos technically. JD Martinez can opt out. It's only $20 million. I don't know if JD does. I feel like he likes it in Boston. Jorge Soler, Satsugo, Albert Pujols, who weirdly actually has been really good this year against left-handed pitching. He's been elite. It's probably going to keep him around the league for a couple more years because he does mash against left-handed pitching. The video I'm going to make on this channel coming up soon. Now let's talk about starting pitchers, because starting pitchers, we can get real interesting now here too. Zach Greinke, big one. He's a free agent. He's still got value. He's not an ace anymore. He's not going to get $35, $40 million like we saw in the past, but there's going to be a team out there, as long as Greinke wants to continue to play, that is going to pay it. He's just really good when he's healthy. It's simple as that. At the absolute worst, he's what? Your 4 or 5 starter who gives you 6 innings every day and a chance to win. That's a really good player to pick up. And that's again at the absolute worst. Weirdly, Trevor Bauer is going to hit the market, possibly as a player option. I don't know what's going on there. That's weird. Not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but it's not looking good. Justin Verlander's a free agent coming off Tommy John surgery. Before the Tommy John, he was disgusting. He was filthy. We got to see what's going to happen after it. I don't know what Verlander's market's going to look like. Probably sign a 1-year deal with the Astros again. That's what I would imagine. Maybe he goes to Detroit with the Tigers again. Who knows? Clayton Kershaw is also a free agent. $31 million on the books. He's 33 years old. He's still good. He still has an ERA in the low to mid 3s. He's not going to get $30 million a year, but I fully expect that someone, if it's not the Dodgers, is going to give him a pretty good contract to keep him around for a bit. Still very good. Max Scherzer's also a free agent. Like, oh my God. And I think he's going to get paid because he's filthy, might win the Cy Young. I don't even know what kind of contract these guys are going to get because we just don't see players like being this old or this deep into their career and still being some of the best pitchers in baseball. It's going to be super interesting to watch. Johnny Cueto's got a club option for like $20 million. Giants aren't going to pick that up. No way. Stroman is going to be one of the highly sought after pitchers on the market. Pitch to contact guy, having one of the best seasons of his career. He's young. He's going to be able to keep the success for years and years to come because he doesn't rely on velo. He's been really good. I hope the Mets bring him back. He's sick. Kevin Gausman's hitting the free agent market off of a arguable Cy Young caliber season. He's going to get paid. Yusei Kikuchi's got a club option. I don't know if they're going to bring him back. I don't know, $15 million. He's just okay. Alex Cobb's had a nice year. Danny Duffy, before the injury, had a nice year. Corey Kluber hits the market. I mean, we're just naming a lot of guys here, and there's more. We got Robbie Ray, who's a free agent, who might win the Cy Young. Carlos Rodon, who's going to be a free agent. Adam Wainwright's going to be a free agent. I don't see him leaving St. Louis, but he will be one. Eduardo Rodriguez. Noah Syndergaard coming off of injury. Wade Miley, who's having a fantastic year. John Gray. Tony Disco. I mean, the list goes on and on. The starting pitching market next year is loaded. If you are a team who needs help with starting pitching, you're going to have the ability to get some really good players at probably really affordable prices. There's a lot of top line talent, but also that top line talent's kind of old, so the price shouldn't be as high. There's a lot of really good middle guys. There's a lot of good back end guys. The starting pitching depth is so deep on the market next year. I mean, we named Robbie Ray, Eduardo Rodriguez, Syndergaard, Duffy, Kluber, Gausman, Stroman, Bundy, Davies, Happ, Quintana, Wainwright, Lyles, Miley, Gray, Desclafani, even Steven Matz. I mean, the list goes on and on. Lots of good pitchers. And then in terms of relief pitchers, there's also some decent arms out there too. We got Kenley Jansen, who's going to hit the free agent market. Not as dominant and as elite as he once was, but still will have value to a team. Craig Kimbrell's got a club option for $16 million. I think the White Sox will pick it up, but if they don't, he's going to be highly sought after. He's been great this year. Andrew Miller, not as good as he once was, but a left-handed arm will always be useful. Speaking of a left-handed arm that people think will always be useful, Brad Hand, I mean, that guy stinks and continues to get paid by teams, so if he can, Brad Miller can. Trevor Rosenthal coming off of injury, be interested to see his market. Dylan Betances as well coming off a major injury. I don't know how good he'll be. Jerry's Familia is hitting the market. Adam Ottavino, Raisel Iglesias is going to be highly sought after. Look at the year he's had in Los Angeles this year. He, again, is quietly one of the better closers in all of baseball. Take a look at Raisel. Put some respect on Raisel Churches. He's been fantastic. Mark Melancon, I don't know what to do with him, but he's been good. Michael Givens has been nice in Cincinnati. Aaron Loop has been one of the best left-handed relievers in baseball this year. Kendall Graveman has been awesome. He's been lights out. His numbers have been great in Seattle and Houston. Corey Knebel's only 29. He'll hit the market. That's a guy to keep an eye out for. Michael Lorenzen at age 30, who's had some good stuff in the past. Keep an eye out for Michael Lorenzen. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's a lot of talented pitching on the market this year, both in the starting and relief aspect of the game. Really, really good free agent market. Really one of the best that we've seen. It may not have huge top-end names like Bryce Harper, Machado, Mike Trout. We're not going there just yet. But these names, I mean, the shortstops are loaded. We might have Freddie Freeman hit the market. Nick Castellanos is going to be out there. There's some really, really good players available this free agency, and I'm excited to see what the market's going to look like once the offseason comes. That being said, we still have a lot of baseball left in the year, about 15, 20 games. The season's coming to an end. It's winding down. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you the rest of the season. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. It really does help my channel, helps me getting recommended. And don't forget to get in the comment section down below and let me know who you think the top 5 free agents are next year. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. That's where I'm wrapping up today's video, guys. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!